Welcome, everybody, and thank you for joining us at the 10th year of Do It in Durham Entrepreneurship Week, Durham Region's celebration of global entrepreneurship, which happens every November. We're joining about 200 countries around the world in celebrating you, the entrepreneur. The Do It in Durham Entrepreneurship Week, we call it DIID, is a collaboration of Durham's business support, educational, networking organizations who have come together to encourage and support entrepreneurs, job creators, and innovators who create economic growth in Durham region. If you're looking to start a business, invest in a business, grow a business, we encourage you to do it in Durham, so Durham region. I want to just highlight a few of our sponsors. Well, actually, all of them. We've got premier sponsors: Oshawa, the city of Oshawa, BACD, Invest Durham, Ajax Advantage. For partner sponsors, we have the town of Whitby. We have Canada, the Federal Development Agency for Southern Ontario. KX96 FM, which is, I got to hang out with them a couple of nights ago, great bunch of people. Community sponsors, we have Ontario Tech University, Brilliant Catalysts. We have City of Pickering and the Spark Center, which is our own RIC center in the Durham, serving the Durham region. So if anybody has a technology-based business, you may want to check them out. Feel free to share your experiences and to help raise awareness and visibility that you are open for business and that the Durham region has a thriving business community. I'm going to share with you in the chat box some hashtags you're welcome to use to help raise that, because if you, to Ella's point earlier, if you went to any of the workshops, we had a lot specifically on digital marketing, and hashtags play a very, very important role in our digital marketing. Lastly, I want to let you know that I am recording this one as well as some of the others that we recorded throughout the week. If you're not already a subscriber, check out the Business Advisory Center Durham's YouTube channel, subscribe to that, and you'll receive notification as we upload these videos so you can enjoy them in your own time as you move forward. My name is Patrice Espa. I'm a business advisor and program coordinator here at BACD. I'll be facilitating the session, but for the most part, I know Ella has it all under control. So I've given her co-host accessibility. So I'm sure she'll be in it. Network in the chat when you have a moment. I always encourage that opportunity, but try to not do it while the presenter is speaking because it can be distracting. And if you have any questions, I encourage again to put it in the chat box. I have a feeling Ella will be monitoring it. And if not, then I can always pull out the questions to bring them to her attention. I love that everybody's putting their camera on. Hi, Catherine. Welcome. Nice to see you. And I'm excited as I hand this over to Ella. Ella, will be presenting Don't Leave Joy on the Table. Thank you, Ella.
Thank you very much, Patrice, and congratulations, BACD. You've done some incredible organizing this week. And I think everyone here on the call can attest to that. There's been some amazing sessions, and we appreciate all the work that you do for our region and continue to do. So thank you, thank you, thank you. Welcome, congratulations to you all, first of all, for deciding to choose yourself, because this is a hard part of the week to try and get people to come to. It's Friday, we start to switch our brains off a little bit, and our attention span goes a little bit more and more down the toilet as the day goes on here. So congratulations for showing up for yourself. If you're watching the recording, again, congratulations to you as well for choosing yourself today and learning some stuff. So for those who haven't met me before, my name is Ella Bates. This isn't a Whitby accent, as you've likely noticed. I am originally from England, but I do live here in Oshawa in the Durham region, and a big fan of everything that the region does. So please do check out the sponsors as well, because there's a lot that our region does for us alongside BACD that are untapped, beautiful resources that we need to check out, and I'll reiterate some of those. In fact, we've got some of the people who are resources on the call here today, like Marley, Marco, for networking and so on and so forth, but I'll talk more about that. So who am I and what gives me the place to come here and talk to you? So first of all, I'm a firewalker. I'm a mum of two. I have 2 bonus kids as well and 3 cats. So it makes for a busy household. So the word busy is going to be used a lot today, today's session. So I can generally empathize a lot. For also those who don't know, I also recently diagnosed with ADHD. So that just throws some things into the mix as well, which makes me additional expert on productivity because I face my own challenges. We're going to talk a lot today. Each other is going to be interactive. It's not just me telling you stuff, showing you some slides. I really want this to be a sharing session as well. Please do be reminded that it is being recorded. If something is sensitive content, feel free to message me privately or even offline, and that's for everyone watching the recording as well as those here live today. But I own Great Workday, which is a rebrand of Elevate's corporate training, which has been around since 1998, so 1 or 2 years. I'm a corporate trainer, I am a conference speaker, I deliver from anything from 10,000 people to one-on-one as well. I love what I do, but my main mission is to make sure that everyone has a great work day every single day and has the skills they need to be able to do that. So without further ado, I'm going to ask you guys some questions. I would like you to put into the chat box here, what is your mission today with attending this session? You didn't come out by accident. You didn't just look at it and go, sure, why not? I'll turn up. What is it you're hoping to get out of today's session? Put it here in the chat box. Let's see if we're covering it. And if not, I can add some extra value to today's session. Looking to be inspired, says Catherine, and hope. Oh, that's such beautiful words, aren't they? Hope is such an amazing thing, isn't it? And whenever you attend anything with knowledge, it does give you hope that you can make things better, increase your happiness, increase your results. Yeah. The word joy. Yeah. It's not by accident. I'm not sure you can see here. I have it tattooed on my arm. It's quite important to me. Keep joying every day, Helen, and you do that so well. Yeah. Learning to not let my work overwhelm or stress me out. Yeah. Yeah, Roxanne, you're likely not alone in that. Oh, Karen's on. Hi, Karen. Increase your productivity, feel more joy, less overwhelm.
Let's see if we can make it up for you.
Tara, if you can put yourself on mute there, we're going to hear you chomping your chips and drinking your tea. Welcome. Remove obstacles. Yeah, that stop the joy coming in and that gratitude. Yeah, and there's a few of those, isn't there, nowadays? Yeah. Help not drowning. Nicole, thank you for using that terminology, because sometimes it can really feel like you're just drowning in stuff and tasks. By show of hands, who can relate to that? Like, you've had days where you're just like, there's so much to do. I literally feel like I'm drowning. Yeah. Thank you for saying that, Nicole. Yeah. Marlene, always room to improve. I couldn't think of anyone better to learn from. Love you. Thank you. And I did get your email and I will respond to that. Just offside there. Brian, hoping to find some balance, have the work I do bring enjoyment and not feelings of obligation. That is very, very powerful. Thank you for saying that. I'm going to read it out again. That's very powerful, because not everyone can see the chat box in the recording. Brian's hoping to find balance, have the work I do bring enjoyment and not feelings of obligation. Again, by show of hands, who here sometimes feel like you're doing things out of obligation, or I should be doing it, rather than, yeah, I get to do this thing. Does anyone ever feel like that? I've got to do that paperwork. I've got to do the admin. And that's what steals or sucks our joy out of our day. You look at your to-do list and go, I don't want to do any of those things. Like, I don't want to feel like that. I do want to address balance, Brian, that you brought up here. I am a true believer that there's actually no such word as balance when it comes to work. And I'm sorry to say that. And here's my disclaimer why. I'm going to use the word harmony when it comes to balance, especially work and life and joy and feeling of obligation, purely because it looks different to everyone else. And I am a confessed workaholic, but I love what I do. Not because I feel obliged. I actually just genuinely love it. The amount of times my partner's like, Ella, like, get off the computer, come and eat with us. I'm like, I'm so sorry. So I've just got so involved in what I'm doing and I love it, right? So my balance isn't 50-50. It's not. But the more that I work, the more that I earn, the more fun things I can do with the joy in my home life. But it shouldn't be left on the table for only what you do at home. I'm doing this now so I can have fun at 8 o'clock at night. No, have fun from the second you wake up right the way through to the end of the day. And Dawn can attest to this. Dawn, I believe that you were on Atomic Habits when we did the book club for that. Yeah, good memory. Me. It's Friday. The memory goes downhill a bit on a Friday. Bear with me here, guys. In Atomic Habits, if you haven't read it, by James Clear, I'm going to put it here in the chat box. Atomic Habits by James Clear. And he's all about looking at systems to make things better for you in what you determine what you want your life to be like. So Brian, we'll walk on what you want your balance to look like. Maybe it's 30-70 being free time, 30% working, right? What does that look like for you? But I highly recommend you read that book. But I'm going to annihilate the word balance, because I think the work-life balance thing needs to just come off the shelves completely. Let's stop thinking life's 50-50. It's not. That's the reality of it's not. So thank you for that, Brian. Gretchen says, also not getting drawn into other people's anxiousness and moods. Yeah, good point, Gretchen. You could be having a great day and then someone next to you in the office is all doom and gloom and you're thinking, don't steal mine. I've heard some people call people like that the energy vampires. Has anyone heard of that before? Yeah, I know you have, Helen. Yeah, they suck the joy out of the day. What are you doing? I was feeling really happy. Oh, good. Karen's picked up the book already. Yeah, honestly, great book. I've read it about 4 times. Ran a book club on it. And I constantly quote it. It's quite brilliant. Okay, let me see. Did I get everybody's? Tara, what are you looking for from today? Let's see who else hasn't said anything. Let's see, Corbett, Benny, welcome. I didn't see you sneak in there last minute. What are you hoping to gain from this session? Because if I can add more value in, I will.
I'm trying to scale my business now to the next level. So it's like just myself now. So I have enough work to keep myself going, but I'm trying to now scale it to the next level now.
Right, without getting super stressed, overwhelmed.
Yes.
Yeah, very, very smart. All right, good. Well, the good news is we're going to cover some things today that will help you on that journey. We've only got an hour. My productivity bootcamp ranges from 1.5 hours to 7 days long. So I'm going to give you the maximum amount of value without fire hosing you with too many things today, okay? That will help get you there. Oh, Tara, thank you. Avoid getting distracted and prioritize. Yeah. I think a lot of who here by show of hands would like to avoid the distractions? Yeah. You notice my hands up too. It's a work in progress. Yeah, beautiful. Well, I'm glad you're all here. Welcome. Let me show you what's actually on my mission here. Let me just move this out of the way. Oh, apparently I've moved the slides in the wrong direction. You can tell it's Friday. I'm here to provide you with the skills and the tools to make sure that every single day you're feeling that joy. And it is really important to set intentions. We'll talk about that in 1 second, but what are you actually in for today? What am I going to make you do? We're going to look at what's actually stealing your joy, and we're going to focus straight away on the biggest reason why people get bogged down, feel overwhelmed, stress, lack of balance, all the things you talk about on your to-do list. We're going to look at the tasks that are driving you, and then we're going to put your habits a little bit under the microscope. Like I said, we're just going to touch on very high level today, but you're going to get some real actionable things. We're actually going to take action straight away as soon as I jump into this. And you're going to have food for thoughts going down the line here too. So it'll give you some reflection. And also I'm going to invite you on every page here, greatworkday.com/joy. I'm doing a 3-day go from busy to joy challenge, which is going to talk a little bit about the things we talked about today. So if you're looking for more cool stuff, you can join us for that for free. So go and sign up. It is going to be limited numbers. It starts the 28th of November at 1 p.m. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. So go and check that out. I'll talk more about that later on. Okay, so the good news is you can gain joy from working, but how do you go about doing that? I hear you cry. So here's the first thing I want you to do. If you haven't already got a piece of paper and a pen, open up a Word document, get the back of a cereal packet, sticky notes, anything you want. I'm going to put you to work straight away. I want you to think about a project that you're working on, and it doesn't necessarily have to be professional. It can be anything. It can be sorting out the basement, booking a holiday, whatever projects you've got on, one where you know there's a lot of tasks assigned to that, okay? And at the top of the piece of paper or document that you've opened, I want you to write what that project is. And I want you to list as many of the tasks that you can think of that are attached to that project in 2 minutes. So I'm going to time you in 2 minutes. If you're watching the recording, I very, very much want you to do this too. We're not going to stop the recording because I want this to be real time for those watching the recording as well. So I'm going to put my stopwatch on here. 2 minutes. What are the tasks that are associated to that project? Stopwatch. Okay, great. There we go. What is the project and what are the tasks? Every single thing that's attached to that project that you can possibly think of. Get granular with it too. And if you can remember to do that, number them as well. Maybe you task yourself with looking at the garage quickly before it snows, undoing the Christmas lights. That's always a hassle, isn't it? For those watching recording, we're in November here, 2022. What are the tasks associated to that project? Who are the people that you need to be talking to? What are the things that you have to do? What are your priorities for that project? What are your communication plans? 40 more seconds. Many tasks, get super granular with this. You're watching the recording, I know you're there. Make sure you're doing the activity, because this is where the magic happens from taking immediate action from our learning. 10 more seconds. What other things do you need to do? You can hear all your brains whirring from over here. 3 more seconds. Okay, don't worry if there's a lot more tasks attached to that. How many? Give me a yes in the chat box if you know there's a lot more tasks than what you've written down. Give me a yes here in the chat box. Yeah, wow. That's interesting, isn't it? Because if it's going to take over 2 minutes to write our tasks down, we have to think about how big this project is, and could it really have been segmented into mini projects into the big project that we have? And I see that everyone's got the videos on now nodding, going, yes, I probably should have done that. Now, isn't that usually the case? We will say, I have this project. So let's say, for example, it's writing a book, and we write all the tasks down for writing a book, versus actually your first project is to decide on the book's contents. That's the project. Hello, we're getting a cameo here from Catherine's cat. Hello, Catherine's cat. Okay, what we do is we take this massive project. So you need to attach every little project, because they're all milestones. So that's number one that creates some overwhelm, but I'm not here to talk about that. I would love for you to put here in the chat box, how many tasks did you have on your list so far, knowing there was likely more? 9, 8, okay, not too bad. 21, any higher than 21? 11, 7. How many online? If you're watching on YouTube, please do comment. We will be picking those up, myself and the BACD as well. Yeah, so quite a number of tasks. How many of those, or let me ask you another question. Give me a yes in the chat box if some of those tasks could likely be broken down into other tasks as well. So for example, you've got a communication path. Maybe then that's writing the nurturing sequence. And yeah, I'm seeing yes, big time, definitely, yeah. So there's micro tasks in the bigger tasks as well. So they're projects within themselves. But we don't, we go straight for this project. I'm writing a book. No, hang on a second. No, you're not. You're thinking of the purpose of the book. That's the project. That's a project in itself. You're doing, your tasks are researching and all this. Do you see how we tackle these massive mammoth projects? So straight away your brain goes, woo, woo, overload. And then we procrastinate over those projects because we're like, they're too big. I can't possibly look at that project on my to-do list because it's massive. Okay, you need to be breaking it down to smaller pieces. We talk about that in the 3-day challenge. Actually, how do you chunk it down so you don't miss anything? There's some brilliant things to do. In fact, you know what? I'm going to do a quick screen share here. If I have it, I hope I do actually have it up here. Oh, I do. Okay, so you see the challenge that I'm doing here? Do you see what I have here on the screen? Does anyone know what this is? Tell me in the chat box, what is this? Let's see if anybody knows what it is. And the dates are all wrong, so just pull it up for the next challenge. It's a Gantt chart. For those that know project management or Excel, you're all geeking out right now going, oh yeah, I love Gantt charts. Yeah, do you see how my 3-day challenge is actually turned into all these different tasks? You see how many tasks there are? And this is broken down granular. And I've given myself set times and things like that. During the challenge, I'm going to show you how to do this. And it's really easy. And I have write, Corbett swooning. They're so pretty and I love them. There's so much joy in this, and I'm going to give you some great templates during that challenge. So I'd love for you guys to join me on that. It's here on the screen. greatworkday.com/joy if you're thinking about doing that. So that's number one. Okay, so we now know that already that's pretty overwhelming. Is anyone feeling overwhelmed already just looking at the task list thinking, oh, I've got all those things to do? Yeah, some of you are, and it's not a nice feeling, is it? Okay, so now that you've done this, I'm going to rewind you a little bit, because we haven't been very intentional when it comes to the tasks that we're doing. Okay, we've absolutely left joy on the table. Even writing out the list has given you stress and overwhelmed. Like, we're starting off the project all wrong. We have to be super intentional. So I'm going to give you an example of this, and then we're going to break out into rooms, and you're actually going to tackle that project and see how things change. So let's imagine right now we're all going on holiday. Okay, you should already, if you're not already, thinking about next year's vacation, or maybe even this year's vacation. Okay, vacations are everything in my book. For anyone that knows me, vacation is number one on my list of things to focus on in the world. I just love vacationing. So what I want you to do is I want you to put in the chat box here what kind of tasks are associated with going on vacation. When you're booking a holiday, what kind of things do we need to start considering? Let me move your chat box over here so I can see all your wonderful faces. Okay. Deciding what kind of vacation you need. Yeah. Researching location. Yeah. The destination. Yes. Where to go. Money, budget, activities. Yeah. What to pack. Who's going to look after the house? Yeah. The pets. Yeah. Chatting with friends. Where have they been? Yeah. Okay. So where are you going? But then the accommodation. Maybe you need a new suitcase. Has anyone ever done that? Gone to go on vacation. You pulled out the suitcase and you're like, oh, that's not going to work. Right. Who am I going with? Yeah. What travel medications do I need? Yeah. Sometimes you need injections to go into some countries. Yeah. Vaccination. Sorry, that was very British, wasn't it? Do I need insurance? Yeah, it was so British, wasn't it? Marley's like, yeah, that was very British. Yeah. What documents do I need? Do I need to fill in any work? Yeah. Do I need to prep anyone for filling in at work? Yes. Am I going to travel by boat, car, fly? What's the itinerary when we get there? Yeah, some of us like to fly by the seat of our pants. Other people like to be organized, very clearly. Catherine is organized. It's the name of her business. What's the weather going to be like? Yeah, what kind of clothes do you need to pack? Do I need to buy new clothes? Yeah, do I need that new sarong? And how about your hair? Do I need to do something with my hair? Do I need to book in my eyelashes and my fingernails? And we could go on and on and on forever, couldn't we? So I wrote down my core tasks when I go on vacation, and these are these things. Where are we going? Who's going with me? Because that makes a difference if it's the kids or just me and Scott. What time of year are we going? Can I actually get the time off? You know, is this that busy time of my quarter or not? Booking the flights, the accommodation, activities, the travel to the destination. So when we get there, is there a coach organized, or do I need to know how to get a cab when I'm there? Can I use my phone when I'm there? Check your passport. Check your passport. It's important. I've been there. Decide on the budget. Someone's looking after the house, like Gretchen says. Someone needs to water the plants, feed the cats. Like, there's so many things, isn't there? In fact, if you wrote everything down to, food options. Oh my goodness, yes. For those that have been to Cuba, you know that food options can be a little bit more limited than they are here in North America. And so you need to know, like, am I going to need to take, are they as more protein based? It's not. If it's lots and lots of seafood, do I need to bring this instead? Yeah. Do I need to bring my gluten-free tablets so I can eat all the cake? Like, what is going to happen when we're on vacation? Okay, good. All right, so we're going on vacation, but we've done it all wrong. And this is what we do. This is what steals our joy. We write down all these things, but none of these things matter. None of these things matter. We have started from the wrong place. By show of hands, who has ever read the book, 7 Habits of Highly Effective People? Yeah, or give me a thumbs up if on the emoticons if you don't have your video on. Yeah, quite a few of you. And you'll remember, and if you haven't read it, I highly recommend you go and look at it. Yeah, you have, Mike. In fact, I'm going to put it here in the chat box. 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. We actually did that for book club as well. If you're wondering what I'm talking about, go to greatworkday.com. I run a professional development book club. We'd love to have you join us. There's a really great number of people in there. 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, and it's by Stephen Covey. Anyway, I'm no affiliate of Stephen Covey, just saying. So it's the Franklin Covey Association, and they talk about with the end in mind. And here's what we do. We just go, let's go tasking. Let's get these tasks done. And nothing is about tasks. In fact, we forget something really important here, and it's the purpose. Why are we going on vacation? So let me ask you this. What could be the reasons that we're going on this vacation together? Are we burnt out and need to recharge? Do we just need some sunshine and a boost to that vitamin D? What are the reasons you go on vacation? Because there are always different reasons, always. Yeah, so spend time with people we care about. Yes, Corbett. What else? To escape the winter. That's what I do, Tari. Yeah. Recharging for Helen. Catherine likes to relax. I'm guessing you're a beach kind of girl. Yeah. Why else? Yes, to see new places and scenery. Benny's the adventurous type, I can tell. To regroup. Yeah, it's a good grounding exercise. Oh, I like that, Gretchen. That wasn't on my list. I love that. Patrice says maybe for weddings and family reunions, to discover new cultures. Yeah, have an experience. Patrice is the one to speak to if you want to talk about travel. She's like me, she's traveled a lot. In fact, there's a lot more you'll get to know. If you don't already know Patrice, I highly recommend that you network with Patrice. Awesome, adventurous lifestyle that she's had. Many, many stories. Nicole, to recharge, yeah, just plug yourself out for a bit. Turn off the brain and have people do things for you instead. Yeah. To taste different foods and expand my recipe collections. Yes, yes. Because you don't know it until you've had, you don't know real fajitas until you've gone to Mexico. You don't know, real pad thai until you've gone to Thailand. Like, it's true, yeah. Catherine, to not have to cook, that is enough reason in my book just to go on vacation. So to have someone else do stuff for you for a while, yeah. Okay, but we can't look at all of them. So we'll take just 3 here. Recharging, quality time with people, and having an adventure. Okay, these are the 3 different types of vacations that I need. So how different would our task list be if we're recharging? Do you think it would be different from the task list we had before? Yes or no? Yeah, Patrice agrees. We're not having to cook too. It might be. Yeah, Benny, you're nodding. Tell me more about that, Benny. Why would your task list change? Or you're on mute, friend.
I think the task list would just reduce because you would just focus on some of them only.
Right, because you're not going to need to go and do a million activities. You just want to switch your brain up and maybe read a book or listen to some great music or watch all the YouTubes from BACD's Do It in Durham 2022, 21, 2019, etc. Right, yeah. What else changes? If you're going to recharge, what would change in the task list? Would it change where you go? Are you going to get to Blue Mountain and snowshoeing and skiing if you're recharging? Likely not. Yeah, it's the destination changes. Does it change what you're packing? Could you just go with flip-flops if you're recharging? You don't have to worry about the sneakers, the walking shoes, right? Your task list changes with your purpose. Okay, let's go to quality time. So let's imagine we're on a family vacation. You've got your sisters and brothers or the kids. What changes on your task list if you're spending it with other people? What changes? What changes maybe in the priorities? Yes. The itinerary? Yes. The clothes that you bring? Yeah. It's all about the activities. The coordination, Corbett, you're right. Something tells me, Corbett, that you have a family, and if anybody's tried to coordinate more than 2 people going on vacation, that in itself is a job. It really is. Yeah. More coordination. You could be bringing gifts. Yes. And now you can't bring the 3 pairs of stilettos you hope to bring so you could dance at night, right? Your accommodation changes. Yeah. So instead of writing down, look for a hotel, maybe you're looking for a villa. Maybe you're looking for an Airbnb. Maybe you're looking to see if Patrice knows somebody that owns somewhere fabulous in Costa Rica you can connect to. Yeah. Look at that. She said it straight away. The tourist spots where you go are going to likely be different. Maybe the security of where you go is going to be different because you've got kids versus, you're quite happy to go into the jungle and maybe see a few snakes, but the children may not. Yeah, that changes. Let's go to have an adventure as a purpose. What changes there mainly on your task list? We're going off and having an adventure. Maybe we're climbing Mount Kilimanjaro. Insurance changes. It sure does. If you're going doing a bungee jump in New Zealand or the Whitsundays, you're going to have to look into different kind of insurance, maybe even write a will. Who knows? Like, who knows how dangerous? I would never bungee jump, just so you guys know. That's like the last thing. If you're coming on vacation with me, that's the last thing I'm doing on the itinerary. Yeah. The vaccinations change. Yeah. If we want to go bungee jumping off Victoria Falls in New Zealand versus going to Thailand where you have to have yellow fever, it's different. Yeah. The clothes that you take. Yeah. We might have to bring the walking shoes. You need a good pair of shoes and socks. I'm not bringing socks. I'm going to sit on a beach in Costa Rica, right? Physical fitness training, Benny, good one. How many of you, by show of hands, I'm going to move the chat box here so we can see you, have ever gone skiing without working out a little bit first? Because then you'll know what I mean by your butt hurts, your knees hurt, your legs hurt, and it takes you about 3 weeks to recover after the skiing vacation. Yeah, it's happened to you, Catherine, I can tell. Yeah, no one tells you that bit until you go skiing. I went to Austria skiing for the very first time, and no one told me I had to do that, and I needed 4 weeks to recover from that vacation. So you need to also book in the time from the vacation. But here's my intention with talking about vacations, not to make you jealous that we should be sitting on a beach, but it's to, everything starts with the purpose. Tara says, I thought I was going to die cross-country skiing. Right. Who knew that you had to have a certain level of physical fitness? But if we just get to our task list, I just need to figure out the accommodation and things like that. Right. You ended up in a body bag. You did not. Patrice, tell me that's not true. I feel like we need to hear a bit of that story, Patrice.
All right, really quickly, to your point, first time ever skiing. And they said, oh, just try the cross country, just try the cross country. I got through the beginners, no problem. They're like, Patrice, you're doing great. Let's go to intermediate. What they don't tell you is intermediate now includes little hills. And this particular one had a curve. My skis went the curve, but the body went into the tree, literally wrapped the tree. So I had to lie there while they went up to get the bag, where they literally put me into the bag and dragged me back to the base. So yes,
You heard it here
I feel
first.
you guys.
Don't go into a body bag if you work out at the gym first, and figure out maybe you need to go to a local ski hill a few times before hitting the Alps or Mont Tremblant. Right. But we don't think about these things in our task list. Your tasks will change when you think about the purpose. Okay. So if you're writing a book, you're nurturing an email sequence, maybe your project is to go on TikTok and show everyone the epicure spices for Helen, right? Your project changes if it's this social media versus this social media. Oh, here we have scalloped potatoes, which is very nice. Well, mac and cheese, my personal favorite. If anyone doesn't know epicure, you need to check out Helen. Delicious and easy peasy. In fact, you're in my auction, which is still live for those who are live. You need to check out the Christmas auction that I'm doing at the moment. I've got some stuff there from Epicure. Anyway, we're not here to talk about food. It's making me hungry already, but everything's about what's your purpose. So I want you to take a look at your task list and go back to the project heading that you did. So let's say it's social media for more exposure. Okay, let's say we take Gretchen. Gretchen's a real estate agent, and you actually Gretchen, could we use you as a little bit of a the test monkey here? Is that okay? Would you mind sharing your project?
Sure. I am a mortgage broker.
I'm so sorry. I don't know why I said
okay.
estate.
That's okay.
Houses. I just saw houses. Sorry.
Yeah. So mine was my newsletter, which I'm started, but
Beautiful.
I've got to get it ready to go.
Perfect. Okay. So what is your intention with the newsletter?
Touch base with everybody on my list and provide some useful information.
Okay, so I'm going to write this down. So we're touching base and useful information. Okay, so everyone likes useful information, but how would the task list change if it was valuable and entertaining information? Does the task list change now?
It does for me because entertaining isn't my go-to. I don't find that I'm very entertaining. So yes, that would be a big challenge. The entertaining part would be a big challenge for me.
Right. But knowing that purpose is really important, because If it was touching base and entertaining them, so that could be, you know, a picture of you holding 4 or 5 for sale signs saying, wow, I'm overwhelmed with selling a house. I'm sure you are too. Reach out to me for mortgages, right? If it was, that's different than if you're doing, you know, current interest rates versus last year or something. The purpose changes the task list. And we don't. We start it with newsletter. Here's what I have to do in a newsletter, but the purpose changes. What other purposes may there be for newsletters? Because I'm sure other people, oh, thank you, Gretchen, for that. Other people here on the call might be thinking or have a newsletter. I know that Marlene does, for example. What other intentions are there behind a newsletter, for example? Here comes my cat, sorry. Yeah. To develop relationships, yeah. Nurture the relationship. Maybe it's a check-in. Yeah. Education. Yeah. Did you know there's a change about the mortgage world? Let me show you this. Yeah. To promote new products, services. Yes. What else? Think about why you enjoy having newsletters as well. Yeah. To know what's coming up soon. Yeah. Actually, that's true of your newsletter, Marlene. That's why I would open up your newsletter to find out what's next, what's coming up next. Yeah. Yeah. The purpose changes the tasks. And historically, we would look at the tasks before the purpose. If you're not driven by why, starting with why, Simon Sinek, great book. If you don't follow Simon Sinek, you need to look. I'm going to put it here again in the chat box. Simon Sinek, The Power of Why. Everything starts with why. Why are you doing it? That will change your tasks. So for you, Gretchen, it was to touch base and to give them useful information. Well, let's narrow that down. What kind of useful information? Is it useful information on the housing market, on mortgage interest rates? Is it on you and why you got into mortgages? Like, if you narrow down your purpose, my mission is this, your task list will be driven around it. So when you come to prioritize, sorry, this cat's driving me nuts. When it comes to prioritizing, then you can be like, wow, my task list looks huge, but let me go back to my purpose. Does this drive the purpose? Do I need to put 4 more slides on this presentation? No, because my purpose is give them the skills to be able to have a great work day and bring joy into it. Yes. Have I met that purpose? Yes. I do not need to put the extra slides on. Everything is driven by it. You likely have a mission statement, a vision statement, or some values on your website. If you don't, I highly recommend you do, and go and check out some of the BACD events from this week and previous years, which cover things like that from websites. So I won't go there. And maybe Patrice, you can, if you can think offhand of some that covered website design, maybe put in the chat box here. But these are really important. Everything has to be values driven. If you're looking at, for example, Karen, I know that you sell some beautiful candles, for example, and maybe your values around candles is, you know, organic products with beautiful smells that don't bring chemicals into your house. That if you're doing a newsletter, is it aligned to that purpose? I haven't really talked about there being no chemicals. Maybe I should align it, right? It's going to change your task list. The purpose will drive your task list. The first thing I do when I speak to my clients is go, what is your purpose? What are you looking to solve with this training? Oh, well, I just want them to have a good time. Okay, well, let's use that as the purpose then. Have a good time to do what? Oh, I've not thought about that. Well, don't give me the task list of what training you need, because likely it's not going to be. Yeah, so Patrice is just saying, go to bacd.ca, and there's lots of resources available for starting and growing a business, and especially around websites, which is such a minefield of stuff. So I'm sure there's mega resources, but that values and mission. So let me ask someone else here on the call. That's okay. Thank you, Patrice. Benny, would you mind sharing here in the chat box what your mission or vision is for your business? I'm just going to do a time check while we do that. Good. Gotta get going. I'll start to type. Or you can take yourself off mute, whatever works for you.
Yeah. My mission is just to provide accurate, complete tax returns for my clients.
Simple, beautifully said. So when you're doing a newsletter, when you're doing a networking, you've got to ask yourself, is what I'm doing aligned to that mission? And if it's not, why are you doing it? So here's what I invite you all to do. I invite you to look at your whole to-do list and ask yourself that question. Is me going on TikTok and doing this dance with an epicure spice right now aligned to my values? No. Why am I doing it? Why do I feel like I should be doing it? Right? You know, is Marlene strutting her stuff in the cabbie and, you know, and all that kind of stuff? on Instagram the best thing to be doing? Well, if it's aligned to the values because you want to showcase great value and beautiful product, then yes. If it's not, then why are you doing it? Can we do all these things because we think we should be doing? I could add to all your task list right now with 1 million things, but you don't need to be doing all the things. You need to be doing the things that are aligned to the purpose. So you always start with, so whenever you write down a project, you're going to be writing down, here's my purpose for this project. It will change your whole task list. I'm telling you now, if you did this with your to-do list and look at your values of your business, same thing for you there, Benny. If it's not providing that to your client, take it off your to-do list. It is of no value. We're doing it because we think we should be doing it, right? We think we should be doing it. Really important. So I'm going to bring up a poll here. If you're to take a look at your to-do list right now, your task list that you just wrote, and thinking to the purpose of the project. So just like we did with Gretchen there, we asked her what was her purpose, and it was newsletters to touch base and to give useful information. How much did your task list change? Was it a lot, actually? Was it about half of it would actually change? Or 25% or less? Yeah. Look at the amount of 50% come up here on the screen is wild. Yeah. 9 of you. Vote now. It's confidential. I will not see who's voted anything. Was it 25% or less, 50% or 75%? 4 of you left to vote. Okay, for essence of time, I'm going to close the poll and I'm going to share the results here on the screen. Now, while only 25% or less, which is great. So that's one of you guys, wonderful. 50%, it just shows, right? We're not as aligned to our values as possible. For anyone that follows me on LinkedIn, I did a poll yesterday and the statement was, I'm going to get this wrong. It was something like, do you think that all employees are aligned to the values and purpose? Are the tasks aligned to the values and purpose? I'm going to invite you to go and check out the results because it's not surprising that most people think no. So why are we doing it? If it's not aligned to the purpose, why are you doing it? Why is everything, right? So I invite you to take a look. I was going to do a breakout, but for essence of time, I'm not going to do that right now. But I invite you to take a look at that task list and take things off. So for you, Gretchen, maybe there's things on their task that actually wouldn't have helped you touch base. You just thought you need to be doing it because that's what everyone does on their newsletters, for example.
Well, I actually realized that my whole newsletter is not the way it should be based on this question, because I'm like, I'm putting out there things I feel like I want to tell people about, but they're not necessarily aligned with the right purpose. So I'm like, I'm very happy for that question.
I'm really glad. Thank you, Gretchen, for sharing that. Did anyone else find that when you looked at your to-do list? You're like, oh, why is that on there? I don't think I need to do that. Yeah. Nicole's laughing. Tell me, what was it you took off your to-do list? And you're like, wait a minute, why was that even on my list?
No, I haven't taken anything off. I just found it funny. But it did help me having the purpose, like why I set my project as cleaning out the basement because I just had a flood in there recently.
Oh no.
So it's like, oh my God, there's so much to do. But being able to have that purpose, like what's the purpose of doing it, is to give myself some get rid of the visual clutter so I can feel relaxed when I go down there. So just having that in mind has already relaxed me about doing the tasks.
That makes me so happy, Nicole. Thank you. High five to you. And I'm so glad that myself and Gretchen are entertaining enough to make you laugh. See, we're bringing joy already, right? But it just, let's get the cut. I'm going to cut the crap from our to-do list. Let's just stop doing the stuff that's overwhelming us. When you're purpose-driven. So now Nicole knows that if it's about decluttering, that's different than cleaning up, isn't it? That means you don't have to get the bleach out, but you need to get rid of the stuff that's not making you feel good. And you've got Organized by Catherine right here, online, now live. You guys need to connect because I'm sure that Catherine has some amazing things. And Karen used to own this business that had lots of organizing people that you can talk to and resources. I'm sure Karen also could help you. And Gretchen, let's take Gretchen for an example. I'm sure you ask your clients, what is it you're looking to feel in a home? We don't say, are you looking for a chimney? Well, how are you looking to feel cozy? Okay, let's look for cozy. You're looking to attach people to their purpose. Oh, sorry, I keep thinking you're in real estate, you're not. But with a mortgage, maybe it's to save money. Maybe it's to pay off things early, right? There's a purpose driving what kind of mortgage you help people with. Everything's purpose driven. The same for you, Marlene. What are you looking for in networking? We are the one for you. Actually, we're not. So you need to go to blah, blah, blah. But I hope to see you there as well, right? Everything's purpose driven. Everything you look at, purpose driven. We're going to do some great exercises on that 3-day challenge. If this is resonating with you, I'd love to see you on that challenge. Totally free. greatworkday.com/joy. All right, let's go for another one here. We're not going to break out. We're going to take a look at our habits. There are a couple of things that suck our time. There's a few things, isn't there? I already talked about distractions and so on and so forth. So I'm going to stop share for a minute because I want you to see the results in real time here. And I don't need to see that either. And I'm going to go to this. That's actually closed on me because technology is just beautiful when it works, and when it doesn't, it's a pain in the butt. Give me 1 minute here, guys. And you're going to go and open up a browser for me, and I want you to type in there menti.com, menti.com. Here we go. Menti.com. I'm going to go share my screen. Okay, beautiful. That is working for me. Woo. Menti.com. And you're going to use the code 7729882. In fact, I'm going to put another link. If we've not opened that up yet, I'll put another link here in the chat box. Menti.com. Use the code 77729882. And I'm going to ask you the question, what are the biggest time suckers for you? What is taking up the most time? What are the biggest distractions or things that maybe you do that you shouldn't really be doing? I'll give you one example of that. For me, it's scrolling. Thank you, Patricia. That's really helpful. Menti.com 77729882, or you can click the link that I put here into the chat box here. What is stealing your time? What is stealing your time? Is that working for everybody? Or does no one have any distractions at all? Okay, here we go. Here's the distractions. Whew, I panicked then. Technology, great when you use it. Social media. Oh, the rabbit hole of social media. I'll have some great tips for that in a second. Changing the task or the goal every 5 minutes. I told you I have ADHD. I can help you with that. Scrolling, yeah. Anxiety, yeah. Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok. TikTok and Instagram are the ones that I get lost the most in, yeah. Phone calls, TV, yeah. Creating graphics. Oh, especially when you're like having a good time doing it. Canva's like a really cool software, isn't it? You're like, ooh, and I can do this, and I can do that. And then you're like, wait, I've spent 2 hours doing that when really that's not my purpose, yeah. Researching down those rabbit holes, yeah. Email, is that emails coming into you? Or you sending emails, getting lost, going around in circles. Yeah, I heard, for those that know my friend Tracy Turberfield, we're talking about the session today. And she said, I know she's going to watch the recording. So hi, Tracy. She was saying that sometimes it can feel like you're on that hamster wheel. You're just doing all the stuff and you're like, I don't even know what I've done. I've just been doing stuff all day. Does anyone ever feel like that? So true. Multitasking too much. Yeah. Working from home, the constant distractions. Oh my goodness, I hear that. Yeah, the snacking, the snacks. Let me tell you, I bring snacks to my desk in the morning. My snacks are on my desk, so I don't walk away from my desk to go and get the snacks. I have some, I think of fruit, and I think of nuts as well. Yeah, managing the inbox, especially if you get lots of email. Yeah, as in working corporate, you know what I'm talking about. We can have up to 300. Yeah, it can be crazy. Getting lost, yeah. Other people interrupting you, yes. Your boyfriend, yeah. Dare they want to talk to us when we're working and busy? Yeah, there's so many. Like, just look at this. Is like never ending. Other people, WhatsApp, the long to-do list, perfectionism, yeah. All right, I'm going to pick a few here. Actually, Patrice, pick me 3. How are we doing for time here? Ooh, we've got 7 minutes. All right, pick me 3 of the top ones that you think would be the hot topics here.
I think the hot topic, one many of us can relate with, working from home, the constant snacking and distractions, definitely the rabbit holes, because that's very common. And somebody mentioned the anxiety aspect. I think that's on the rise in many ways. So those would be my 3.
Okay. So let's keep these here. In fact, I'm going to stop sharing this so we're not getting anxiety looking at all these possible distractions. So let's go there. Okay. Remote working, we've been doing it for 2 years, and for some of us a lot longer because we're self-employed and we work from our kitchen table or down in the basement. But there are beautiful things that you can do to make sure that remote working works really brilliant for you. And I'm going to keep saying the words you, and I said it to you, Brian, is going to look like what it looks great for you. What looks great for me and what looks great for you is completely different. Don't see other people on social media and go, oh, I'm meant to have a clean desk at the end of the day. Or if I showed you my desk right now, you'd be horrified. It is very organized chaos. I know I have everything on my desk that I need, and it looks a mess, but it works for me. It's my process. But it's taking a look at what is working, what's not. And here's the key for anything that you know is a big distraction is take like, you know, something that comes in the mail. Like I love these. Oh, I can't show because this silly thing here. Okay, so just get like a piece of paper or a notepad or a Word document and take one day and everything that distracts you about working from home, type it in. Then take some time, maybe while, you know, having a glass of wine or watching a movie, and think, what can I do about these things? You've got to look at our systems. What is working for me? Wow, I love the fact that I constantly have this big jar of water. So it makes me not procrastinate and go to the kitchen to get more water. And before I know it, I've had an apple and may have had some of that Lindt chocolate that Tracy brought around before. And then I've chatted to Scott and seen about his meeting. Then I've lost an hour and then I'm like, oh no. Does that resonate with anyone? You're like, why did I go upstairs? We can use the Pomodoro technique. Another thing that a lot of people do is they'll have timers. And I highly recommend literally going buying a timer. Don't use your phone because you can look at your phone and then be like, ooh, someone tag me in a TikTok. Let me go down the rabbit. No, do not use your phone for stuff like that. Move your phone out of the way. Unless you're a doctor or like Gretchen, maybe that's your office phone too. You do not need to have your phone on your desk with you. Okay, get yourself an egg timer from the dollar store or go and get some fancy one from Bed Bath & Beyond, whatever works for you, and turn it on and go, this is my focus time on this. If those people are distracting you, look at how your desk is. Is it an environment that works really well for you? So like, for example, we can see Gretchen at the back there. It's a beautiful environment. You're looking in the camera now and seeing all these inspirational words and awards and your qualifications. And it, you know, it's a really beautiful space, but maybe some of us are looking at, let me show you mine. I'm going to take my background off here. Virtual backgrounds, none. Boring. Right, what works for me is actually having nothing behind me because I get really distracted. I have ADHD, so I'm like, oh yeah, I love that painting that's behind me. And oh, I remember when the kids went, no, I need no distractions behind me. Okay, that works for me. So take a look at your environment right now and say, one on my desk, one in front of me is working for me right now. So share in the chat box, working remotely, one on your desk. What system do you have that works really well for you? And you're like, this rocks for me. I love that I bring snacks, a big bottle of water or whatever it is. Your plants, yeah. The extra oxygen that you get and the joy you get from plants. Yeah, I love that too. I have my cute fox plant that makes me happy, although it's not growing very well right now. Yeah, what else? Some of you may have crystals on your desk. Oh, look, with the butterfly. So yours is big, yes, it's spread out, and you need that, Benny, because you're very administrational heavy, yeah. A small desk enough where you can't cover it with stuff, yeah, so you've got that restrictions, yeah. A cup of tea next to me and the pig sleeping at my feet. Ah, I love it. Minimal stuff, yeah, so that works for you, Gretchen, right. Blanket for this stupid cat. I love it. Now look at your desk and tell me what is not working for you. There's something right now that you're going to look at and be like, yeah, that shouldn't really be on my desk. That's actually quite a distraction. Come on, admit it. The clutter. Yeah. Clutter. It's cold, yeah. Weighted blanket, Benny, all the way. Keeps you warm, saves energy, and for those with anxiety actually keeps you feeling quite, it's almost like a hug, yeah. Light bulbs, interesting. No mug warmer, an invitation to leave your desk and get distracted. Great insight, Corbett, yeah. It's all behind my green screen. That's so smart. But Corbett, like there's instant solutions to that, right? You know, like the Tupperware mugs that you can get that insulate it for 12 hours. Piles of papers that need to be filed, put them in a box and get them off your desk. They don't need to be filed today if they're not important. Helen, get them out of your eyesight. It causes stress and anxiety, get it away. Yeah. Lots of post-it notes with to-do lists. So Dawn, does that make you feel a little bit anxious when you see all those things you have to do? Yeah. So top tip, only have on your desk the next 3 things that you need to do. That's it. Everything else off your desk. You don't need to focus on stuff that's happening next Thursday, 4 o'clock tonight, right? Yeah. Too much paper. Yeah. That's what bankers boxes are for. But make sure you schedule in to deal with it, because otherwise you're gonna open it up and be like, it's the piles of doom, they call it, right? Yeah. Okay, let's take a look at the second one here. We are at 4:30. If anyone has to dash, please go, but I'm going to run for 5 more minutes. Is that okay with everyone? Is that okay with Patrice, who's all like, ooh, we should be on time? Yeah, thank you. Okay, we'll be real quick. What was the second one there? Rabbit holes. Okay, so I do something. Is it showing on my phone to show you? Maybe I'll be able to show you. Maybe I'm not. No, I can't show you right now. Okay, so if anyone here own an iPhone, give me a show of hands. Anyone has an iPhone? Yeah, quite a few of you. Okay, I don't know if you can do this on an Android, but please look it up. You can time restrict your apps. So I'm only allowed to use my social media before 8:30 in the morning, between 12 and 1, and after 7 o'clock at night. They are switched off. What happens is if I click on them, they're actually on right now because I was talking to someone on social media. If I need to go into them for some reason, so let's say I knew that Patricia was going to email me about what time we were meeting and I need to have that open, you can override it very quickly. But what it means is you'll go to click on it and it'll say, you're limited, you are not allowed to use this until 4 p.m. You'll be like, damn. So that tells you off. It's genius. When someone told me about this, I'm like, oh. So then what happens is between 12 and 1, I know I can go and look on TikTok and go down the rabbit hole and look at the things that I like to look at and learn about. But that's my time to look at it. And after then, I'm not looking at it. I'm just not allowing myself. So use your phone as a restriction method. I know you can do it for Android. I apologize. I can't think, there is a way of doing it. I can't think today, but that's the huge thing. Or even have it is available on Android, Digital Wellness. Beautiful. Thank you so much, Roxanne. It will turn off the app if you go off the allotted time. Yes, you can do that on an iPhone too. You can have it where your whole phone shuts down at 10 o'clock, apart from your alarm clock, if you don't want to be looking at it past 10. You can have the light change. There's all sorts of things on your phones that you can use if that's where you are going down the rabbit hole. If you're going down the rabbit hole on a PC, you can actually get menu blockers where you can't even type in Facebook. It won't let you, apart from these times and these times. So you are... recognize we're not always disciplined. We're not, because we like social media. We like watching those squirrels dance, and we like seeing what Gretchen's been up to on our vacations and things like that. And that's okay. But is it your purpose in the moment? Likely not. So take a look at when the good times are for you. We're actually on the 3-day challenge going to look at when key times work best for you personally to do things like that, because you don't all need to be looking at it during lunchtime. In fact, some of you might not even take lunch. Maybe you're a brunch kind of person. So it might work for me, not for you. So we're going to look at personalizing that during that challenge as well. greatworkdavid.com/joy. Yeah, beautiful. Thanks so much, Roxanne, for doing that. And then I want to address the anxiety as well. I'm going to ask you for the anxiety, has anyone ever seen the feeling wheel before? A show of hands, who knows what I'm talking about? Yeah, just a few of you. I'm going to go and find it real quick. This is very, very powerful. So when we say that we're stressed or overwhelmed with our to-do list, sometimes it's not necessarily the right word to use. It probably represents how we're feeling. So let me pull up here and then Google. Okay. If you Google the feelings wheel, there's so many of them. You'll find it on every single social media channel that I have. So do you see here in the middle here, these are the key things that we generally say. I'm feeling anxious, I'm scared, I'm mad, I'm sad, I'm happy. And then on the outside of that, we'll see more words to describe why I'm mad, why I'm feeling powerful, peaceful, scared, happy, whatever it is. And then on the outside, there's even more. And when we use the word anxious, is it anxious you're feeling, or you're feeling excited and nervous? Because the same feelings come up. Anxiety and excited actually has the same physical manifestation, believe it or not. Are you genuinely feeling anxious? Are you feeling overwhelmed? Or are you feeling that you're maybe not purpose-driven? Are you maybe, so let's take this for example here. Maybe when we're feeling anxious, we're actually feeling helpless. God, I don't have the resources I need to be able to do this website or whatever I'm working on. What do I do? Are you going to go to BACD, or are you going to go and find a website expert, or are you going to go on YouTube? How do I start a website, right? There's that beautiful website. If you haven't heard of it, I massively invite you to write it down. I'm going to read it out now for you. It's www.google.com. Yes, google.com. Like, stop it. Stop causing anxiety. Just go and Google it. There's so many things you can do, right, Marlene? Someone called me with that the other day, and I'm like, using that in my presentation. There's nothing you can't Google. Stop trying to figure it out by yourself. Go and find the experts. Go and get some mentorship from BACD. Come and see me. Come and see anyone here. That we've all done things. But is it anxiety you're feeling, or is it stress? Or is it overwhelm? Or is it not understanding your purpose? Is it that you've taken too much on your business? Is it that you're trying to grow it, and now your to-do list, like Benny's, is going out, you know, it's just falling out the door because you've got so much to do now? Maybe you need a growth coach. Like, what is it that's really happening? So I invite you to take a look at the feeling wheel and figure out what is it that you're actually feeling. Anxiety is a whole ball of many, many things. Patrice, you're absolutely right. Focus on what you do best. My friend Sherry Corbett always says, do what you do best and hire for the rest. You do. And while we don't, as entrepreneurs, want to always spend money on other people doing stuff for us, gosh, it's game changing when we do. Who here delegates something? My show of hands. Yeah. Marlene, what do you delegate?
Bookkeeping was the first thing that I wanted to get rid of, and I gladly did that. And I do have a VA for some tasks.
That's beautiful. And how much more time do you have now?
Well, I would like to use that VA more frequently, but that'll happen. That'll grow.
Yeah. Well, you're probably going through a learning experience with them too. Yeah. Beautiful. Thanks, Marlene. It's important. Start delegating stuff out, even if it's to an intern, or maybe it's to someone once a year to do things for you. Is the stuff on your to-do list the things that you should be doing now? Guys, I've used a lot of your time today. I really appreciate you sticking around for those. I just didn't want to leave you hanging. I knew there were some tips I could give you. We're going to go into more. One of the days is actually focused purely on what great habits you have and the other habits that you have to ditch, and how to get the resources and the tools and the tips and the tricks and the skills that you need to succeed on things in your to-do list. So I massively invite you to join us. greatworkday.com/join. I'm going to put it here in the chat box. I'd leave you with this. You've still got Mentimeter open up there. I would love for you to go across to the next one. What was the most useful thing that you learned on today's session here? You can either put it in the chat box or straight to the menti.com here. I'm going to share it here on the screen. Let me. What was the biggest takeaway for you today? How are you going to use it? What was the thing that you wrote down and you're like, oh, I need to do that. That's going to be great for me. That's going to bring me more joy. Well, that's going to get rid of something that's sucking my joy right now. Yeah, the purpose. Yeah. The purpose, not just the task. Yeah. Isn't that really powerful? I've got to tell you, I learned that from Tony Robbins. It's not mine. Yeah. And it will help with your priorities. Yeah. Because if it's not purpose driven, why are you doing it? Yeah. Thinking about what's your purpose. Catherine, I'm sure that you do that subconsciously with your clients. What are you hoping to achieve in this room? Well, I want to feel relaxed, right? Or I want to feel organized, or I want to feel like I have a system, right? What is the purpose? Because that drives you to how you're going to help your clients. Yeah, it's really interesting, isn't it? I'm so glad you got value from today. Reminders to start with why, what my customer wants. Yeah. It's really hard though, isn't it? And Gretchen, thank you for that comment about, you know, what you think you would like to see in a newsletter and what your clients want to, can sometimes be really different. Yeah. New way to look at your to-do list. Good. Breaking things down to smaller projects. Yes. Again, we're going to focus wholeheartedly that on one of the days on the Joy Challenge. I'd love for you to join us on that. Yeah. Yeah. Beautiful. Well, it looks like you got some great value from today. I appreciate your time. Thank you, Patrice, for inviting me. I'm going to let Patrice close the session. Again, thanks so much for sticking around for 9 more minutes. You guys have been great. Thank you.
Ella, I won't say too much more. Thank you very much for that amazing presentation. To each and every one of you who joined us from the beginning to the end. Ella shared so many resources, and I hope if you've never heard of BACD before, you have now. And remember, if you're thinking of starting a business, investing in a business, growing a business, hiring for a business, where are you thinking of? Durham region. Well done, everyone. Woohoo!
Happy Friday, everyone.